Once upon a time, somewhere in England, there was a place called the Enchanted Forest. The animals of the forest have so many grand adventures together, but then circumstances drove them apart. 10 years later, one of those animals, who was a panther named Bagheera, became a mentor to a young pony girl named Twilight Sparkle. She is a little unicorn who is an orphan. One day, Twilight and her adopted pet baby dragon, Spike, went on a journey with Baloo the bear to visit the friendly teddy bear, Winnie the Pooh. As Twilight, Spike, and Pooh traveled to America, they befriended a mouse named Five-O Mousekewitz, who got separated from his family. After they rescued him from a sinister cat named Warren T, Pooh brought Five-O back to his family. The mice moved into England. Months later, Five-O and Pooh's gang, along with Woody and Buzz Lightyear, went on a treasure hunt at Skull Rock. Bagheera sent his old friend, a llama named Kuzco, to bring Twilight and Spike to a safe place where there is no danger. At first, Kuzco refused to be a little unicorn's mentor, but after going on a misadventure with Pooh, Piglet, Applejack, and Spike, the llama changed his mind and set off with Twilight to bring her to a nice and happy village that took place somewhere on a hill in the Enchanted Forest. Weeks later, Kuzco told Spike that friendship with different animals is nothing but trouble. When Twilight realizes it, she scolded Kuzco. The llama got too fed up and accidentally hurt the pony's feelings. Kuzco, ashamed, prevented Twilight Sparkle from running away. The pony forgives Kuzco. One day, when Twilight went to sleep over at her friend Fluttershy's home, Spike and Kuzco went on a trip to Nottingham and encountered Robin Hood the Fox and his band of merry men. Spike and Kuzco also escaped from the greedy Prince John and the wicked Sheriff of Nottingham. Back in the forest, Twilight, Spike, and Kuzco encountered a cat named Tom and a mouse named Jerry, who tried to find a home after they got separated from their owners. Along the way, the animals rescued Sharp-Ears the Vixen and her family from poachers. Twilight, Spike, and Kuzco also encountered a female mouse named Miss Bianca, who went to explore Thorn Valley. In the valley, Bianca prevented the evil Professor Ratigan from kidnapping her best friend, Mrs. Brisby, and her children. Sometimes after Bianca was married to her friend Bernard, Twilight, Spike, and Kuzco went into a jungle and befriended a rare jungle creature whose name was Hugo the jungle animal. When Hugo gets kidnapped by the Sith Lords, Twilight, Spike, and Kuzco rescue Hugo with help from a little vixen named Rita and the Jedi warriors. Rita is Robin Hood's little sister. Her brother adopted Hugo and welcomed him to his band. A year later, Twilight, Spike, and Kuzco went to visit Hugo and Rita. When Rita gets kidnapped by King Louis and the Banderlog apes, Hugo rescued her and they escaped. They went to London town where Kuzco came from. They wondered who lived there. Somewhere in London town, Hugo and Rita once again encountered the Sith Lords. But their friends, the Jedi warriors, rescued them and they helped Hugo and Rita escape. Hugo and Rita found a new home in the jungle where Hugo came from. A month later, Twilight, Spike, and Kuzco befriended a little fox named Todd. He was the son of Robin Hood and Maid Marian. Somewhere in the Enchanted Forest, Todd befriended a hound puppy named Copper. They never knew that hounds hunt foxes. Twilight Sparkle prevented Copper's master, Amos Slade, and friend Chief from hunting down Todd. After going on a misadventure, Amos and Chief later became friends with Todd. As Todd grew, he met and fell in love with a vixen named Vixie. Elsewhere, Copper met and fell in love with a friendly wolf dog named Alu. Vixie and Alu are best friends originally, but after a showdown between Todd and Vixie's evil uncle Foulfellow, Vixie and Alu argued and are no longer friends. Vixie went back to Todd, and Alu went back to Copper. Meanwhile, Twilight, Spike, and Kuzco befriended the Fraggles and helped them and their friend Princess Kiara the Lioness battle her villainous great-uncle Scar and bringing her family to a safe place away from hyenas. One day, Twilight and her friends from the small town of Ponyville prevented the wicked wizard, Lord Malice, from taking over the enchanted forest. After Twilight defeated Malice, she transformed into an alicorn. As Twilight, Spike, and Kuzco continued their adventure towards the village on the hill, they encountered a pair of villainous pony brothers called Snips and Snails, who plotted to rule the forest. Snips and Snails originally lived in Ponyville when Twilight was a unicorn. Now, the duo lived inside of London's famous clock tower, Big Ben. Snips and Snails want to steal things from a museum in London town. The next day, Todd and Kuzco argued about keeping Twilight away from the villainous duo. Having enough with the fox, an angry Kuzco told Twilight to find her own home by herself. But when the alicorn tries to help him, the llama walked away, feeling sorry for her. Later, Spike stops a battle between Kuzco and Todd. After Todd went home, Kuzco and Spike finds a sad Twilight at a mountain. As Kuzco embraced her, Twilight magically turned back into a unicorn. A week later, after Todd marries Vixie and have children, Twilight, Spike, and Kuzco went to spend the night at a house where their new friend Tommy Oliver lives. Tommy stopped Rothbart the Enchanter from taking over the forest. Twilight fell in love with a Pegasus named Flash Sentry, but after their argument, Twilight was adopted by two married horses and lived with them on the village hill. One night, after Spike followed Twilight to the village, Kuzco and Flash fought Snips and Snails and defeated them. Flash finds Twilight, and the ponies kissed. Twilight turns back into an alicorn. The ponies embraced.